Hello everyone and welcome back to Active Insights, the podcast where we talk about everything becoming independent in your 20s, figuring out as we go. But today I really want to dive into body image, body confidence, feeling good in yourself, especially in the holiday. We might be feeling fluffier, maybe you're going away. I'm actually traveling tomorrow, going to a hotter country, so I'm going to be in bikinis. And don't get me wrong, recently I have been feeling a lot more fluffy. I've even stepped on the scale, which I haven't done in a while, and it was 2 kilograms up from when I last weighed myself. And even though I've been intentionally gaining weight to quote unquote bulk and build some muscle, things like that can really affect how you feel in your body, how you look at yourself, how you feel within yourself. Maybe you feel like you've been slightly addicted to food. Maybe you feel like you've lost control over foods. Maybe you're anxious because Christmas is coming and everyone's going to be in their Christmas outfits and you're going to feel bloated that day because we're going to be indulged. We're going to talk about it in this episode, okay? Because you're not going to leave here feeling stressed, feeling worried about Christmas. You're going to leave feeling so secure in yourself, so confident moving into the holiday and beyond. Let's get into it. Starters, I'm not talking out my arse here. Why? Because I study dietetic, so I actually understand the science behind nutrition, behind health, what it truly means to be healthy, and it really irritates me when people online post a before and after transformation.
It's about your nutrition. This is me with my workout, and this is me. I just focused on my nutrition because everything is about the food and what you're eating.
And while partly that is true, there are other health benefits to not only exercise, but to feeling good in yourself. There are social economic status. You can't just say to people, you know what, no, you can't eat any more UPF, you can't eat anything out of packets, you can't eat anything, you don't understand the ingredients because that's not healthy for you. Sorry. I had to do a whole presentation on canned carrots. And let me tell you, there are a lot of chemicals in there that I had no effing clue. Not just in canned carrots, but in the carrot, like the actual vegetable. So this is all bullshit. And it really pisses me off because it makes it sound like nutrition is a bit of a one size fits all. And then they'll go, disclaimer.
This is what I need for my body and it's not what you should be eating, but I'm going to show you everything anyway and me weighing everything out because...
Why? I am so bad at what I eat in a day because I always forget to film what I'm eating. Why? Because it's not really processing in my brain the fact that I need to log what I'm eating. I honestly don't think about it. And this has taken me a long time to get to because I've really moved away from this now because it's really my past. But if you didn't know, I grew up with a really bad eating disorder. I didn't even think it was an eating disorder. I didn't think I had a problem. Lasted around 5 years. I was hospitalised in and out about 4 times. I nearly took my life. I have really dealt with the consequences. Not only feeling insecure in your body, but having the pressure to look a certain way. So you're probably thinking now, okay, well,
how did you deal with gaining 20 kilograms and being
okay with that? To be honest, you're not gonna like this answer, but it's just doing it and thinking it's gonna be the best thing ever. Because we are very negative as humans. I've noticed recently because I've actually been home alone for the past couple of nights. Not tonight, thank God my family are coming back. But when I was home alone, the first night I was fine. The second night it was very, very windy. And we live in quite a creaky house. There was voice coming from the corridor, the fire alarm was beeping. And I started getting really freaked out thinking there was a ghost in the house, which I know sounds so silly, but at 10 o'clock at night, my brain ain't functioning. And then I thought, wait a minute, if there is a ghost in the house, why am I thinking so negatively about it? Why can't I befriend this ghost? Maybe this ghost could be my secret little partner, could spy on things for me. And humans have a natural negativity bias. It's our choice to flip that on its head and think positively on it. With food and gaining weight, it's mainly because of social media, magazines, etc. That's demonize such weight gain. Now when I weigh myself and I've gained weight, of course I'm gonna have some thoughts in my head that are oh great, I've gained how many kilograms, I feel a bit insecure now, because you've gained the weight. But if you didn't do that, you probably wouldn't feel that way about yourself. And actually, before I went for my run, I did some stretch and I was like, babe, your body is on fire today. Isn't that amazing that one can gain weight and still love their body? Your weight literally does not correlate to what you look like whatsoever. Not only am I saying that from a dietetic standpoint, from working in a hospital, but also as someone who's recovered from an eating disorder which literally fed off me getting thinner and thinner. But I want to validate you right now and say it's okay to want to be lean. It's okay to want to change your body, and it's okay to do that as long as it's in a healthy way. I am not one of these people.
You need to love yourself just as you are, no matter what your body looks like. And you should not change it because you need to love yourself despite that.
And I agree with that because when I was in my eating disorder, no matter how thin I got, I still hated myself exactly the same. But if you're feeling a bit fluffy, maybe you're feeling oh, I did gain some weight over winter and I'd like to lean out a bit for the summer, that's okay. You're allowed to do that because that can make you feel more confident, better wearing certain outfits. Maybe you just felt better at a certain weight or a certain size. No one should make you feel guilty for wanting to maybe go to the gym or tighten up or tone or whatever. As long as you're doing it from a healthy mindset, that is the difference. That's the difference that I've had moving forward. Of course, I want to change my body all the time. Why do you think I went into a bulk? Obviously obviously I'm going to cut, I'm going to be in a calorie deficit. And that was another reason why I had to move away from that old niche I was in, because I couldn't promote losing weight on a page where I deal with putting on weight. Having someone online then be like, oh, I'm losing weight at the moment, or I'm cutting, or I'm trying to lose fat, isn't helpful in that part of your journey. But that's just a part, because you're then going to move past it, and then you're going to be in a healthy stage where you can do that, and that's going to be okay, because you realize from the mindset that despite what happens, you love yourself the same regardless. It does not make you vain, it does not make you shallow, it makes you very human, because everyone wants to feel confident in a bikini. Everyone wants to love themselves despite the size. It might be that one person feels confident at a certain weight or BMI, and someone else feels confident at a different weight or BMI. It doesn't actually matter. It's your life and you have control over it. You have to let them and let me, as Mel Robbins says. This episode isn't how to change your body, but I did want to put in a few little nutrition tips from someone who is literally studying it, and that's actually really helped me this winter, not only with SAD, but actually feeling better in my body. Number one, everyone, especially in the UK, you need to be taking your vitamin D. If you're not taking vitamin D in a tablet over winter, you're deficient, full stop. Literally over half the population are deficient in vitamin D, because we can't make it from the UV light in the winter. And this is going to make your skin a bit saggy, it's going to make your brain health not as good, it's going to leave you feeling tired, more anxious. And this year was the first year I've actually consistently been taking vitamin D. And when I tell you I feel 10 times better, obviously there are other factors, you know, science is quite nuanced. I can't say it's just the vitamin D, probably lots of other things that have gone into that, but vitamin D has definitely helped with that. And it's also going to help with your bone health, especially if you are someone who has chronically dieted or lost a lot of weight or put on weight and lost weight again. Your bones are probably quite fragile, and vitamin D is really going to help solidify them. Number two, oily fish or some sort of omega-3s at least once a week. I'm talking your salmon, your mackerel, some anchovies here and there. If you can't, then a supplement. It is worth money. I know they're expensive. I'm not rolling in it, okay? But I do splurge on supplements, the ones that you need, because that's really going to help your brain health, going to help your bone health. Your body cannot make those fats, and fat does not make you fat. I feel that's a fact we should all know by now, but if you didn't, fats don't make you fat, okay? It's not only a surplus of calories, but also where those calories are coming from and the utilization of them in your body. But we are going to touch upon certain foods a bit later in the episode. Obviously, eating your fruits and veggies, whether they're frozen, canned, fresh, even if they're drizzled in olive oil. I've literally, all my vegetables have been roasted at the moment. Am I putting them in olive oil and herbs and salt? Yes, but at least I'm getting them in because the vitamins stay the same. Some form of protein at least at every. Not only is it going to keep you full, it's also going to help keep your muscle. I'll let that person go so she's not in the video. Not only is it going to keep you fuller, it's also going to help with your muscle repair, especially if you are going to the gym, and if you're older as well. It really helps with the menopause. I've recently put my mum on, not a meal plan, but she asked me for some diet advice. Obviously, I'm not a qualified dietitian yet. I will be in a couple years, and I actually cannot wait to vlog this experience, to take you with me on placement and things, because I feel like there's nothing out there. Like, I was researching placements, especially for dietetic students, and there's literally nothing, and I feel like it would make me feel so much more confident knowing that I kind of know what to expect. So stay tuned for that, because I've just chosen where I'm going for placement, so I'll release that quite soon. But I told her that, for example, eating breakfast with protein in it is going to stop her overeating before lunch, and having an afternoon snack is going to stop her snacking before dinner. So not only is she feeling more energized at the moment, she's actually finding that she's getting less hot flashes and things, so it's really helping. And finally, letting yourself have the sweet treat, letting yourself have that chocolate, letting yourself have that mince pie, because the more you tell yourself you can't have it, the more you're going to want to just binge on it. Recently, I've just been allowing myself, whenever I think, oh, I really want some chocolate, I just have it, because I know if I don't, in a week's time when it comes to Christmas, I'm going to binge the whole day and then want to purge it up. That's actually what I did, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, and I had just started social media. I had a very small community at the time, and on Christmas Day, I literally just binged chocolate all day. By Christmas dinner, I was not hungry at all, but I made myself eat, because I told myself that's the only day I could have, you know, roast potatoes or pigs in blankets. It's just the mentality behind that. Of course, it ruined my Christmas. Like, it honestly did, because Christmas is not about food, and we talked all about this in our last episode. When you allow yourself to have the mince pie, like my friend bought a pack of mince pie. I was really sick one day, and I literally couldn't eat. Like, I was honestly so ill, but I did eat a mince pie. Somehow the sweet treat just made me better, but mentally allows you to be free from that, because the more control you give to food, the more control it's going to have over you. Going along with your body image, actually having some movement and going to the gym has made me feel so much more confident in not only my body's ability, but actually in the way it looks. Even this morning, I went for a run. I don't run to lose weight. Running is not going to make you lose weight. There was a point I ran 5 times a week. I was training for a half marathon, but I also just thought, oh, everyone I follow online who runs looks a certain way, so therefore if I run, I'm going to look this way too. Babe, that's not how it works. So now I literally run once a week purely for my heart health, because if I don't, I would actually be so unfit. It's probably a bit embarrassing. I do weight train because the more I've weight trained, the better my body has looked. Obviously, you need to give yourself rest because your muscles actually grow at rest. And I've also got a level 2 and level 3 PT. So again, not talking out my arse. The reason I disclose that is because I don't want people to think that I'm like this guru or that I know it all. Or no, I'm talking from experience and also from qualification, because that's trustworthy, that's regulated, and it's not just, oh, this is what I think and everyone needs to copy me. Nah, take what you need and leave what you don't. I've always disclosed that in every single one, not only of my episodes, of my videos and my YouTube videos. This is just how I'm living my life, from how I got from a really shitty place to now where I'm literally thriving, I'm happy, I'm reaching towards my goals, also enjoying the journey. I will try and slow down. I'm a very fast talker naturally, and it's something I'm really trying to work on, especially for placement. They've told me in every single simulation, you need to slow down and calm. Moving on. When it comes to strength training, it's not actually about burning calories, it's about building muscle, because that's what's going to give you that toned look. For years, I was quote unquote skinny fat, I think is what people like to say, when actually I was just A, probably a bit underweight, and B, I had no muscle on me whatsoever, because I never strengthened them, because I just thought cardio was king and cardio was going to make me lose weight because it's calories in, calories out. And while that's true, the body also wants to be in energy balance. When you build muscle, not only do you burn more calories at rest because muscle is more metabolically active, it also helps with your fat deposit. Now, this is something we had to learn in one of our modules that was, oh my god, this module was so boring. Like, I actually, even revising it, I put it off because I find it actually so boring. But it's probably one of the most interesting. Can you have that? Your fat obviously deposits in multiple different types of cells. So you have brown fat, white fat, and then you can also have fat in your muscles and also in your organs. So when you store fat in your muscles, you actually utilize it a bit more. Now, we don't really want that much fat in our muscles. When we do strength training, you're more likely to burn the fat in your body to be used for your muscles rather than glycogen, because you're more likely to use the glycogen from your liver when you go for that run, or when you sprint, or when you do that HIIT class, versus when you go for a gentle walk. When you strength train, you're actually going to burn the fat on your body. Now, this is because of where your body wants to utilize that energy. So for example, if you do 5 HIIT classes a week, you're not actually burning the fat on your body, you're burning it from your liver, and then you're going to replenish that the next time you eat your dinner, especially if it's got carbohydrate in it. So gentle walk, weight training is what's really transformed my body and also made me feel more confident and trust it more. It's changed the relationship with my body for the better, and I'm not just saying that in terms of aesthetic, but also the way I feel about it. When I go to the gym, it's like a snowball effect for the rest of the day. Even this morning, having gone for a run, I'm now so much more productive because I've checked that off my list. I've gotten ready for the day. I feel like I've looked after myself. I want to eat well. It's a bit like habit stacking. I actually listened to a recent episode of Diary of a CEO with James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, and he actually also talked about this phenomenon, which is like a snowball effect. So when you do one positive habit, you then stack the others on top just naturally. Again, not saying you need to do this, but this is what's transformed my life. And talking about the scale, especially with travels, like even this morning when I said I gained a few kilograms, and I was like, oh, your scale does not determine how you look, nor should it determine how you feel about your body. I know that's a bit contradictory, but honestly, me being heavier now, I look better than I did when I was like 10 kilograms lighter. But your body's scale weight will also fluctuate for so many damn reasons. If you travel, if you ate more salt, like last night I had so much, oh my god, actually, I think I can explain why. So last night I had an egg, yeah, and we don't have a normal salt shaker. I don't know why, I don't know. So I had to use like the pot with no top, and I went like this, and when I tell you like so much salt came out, I had to get a spoon and like spoon it out of my egg. I didn't want to cook another egg because it's a waste of an egg. So I probably had like 10 grams of salt, which is double your recommended intake in this one meal. And that is also going to hold onto water, because where salt goes, water follows. Whether you're stressed, how much you slept, whether you ate a lot last night because you're still going to have that food in your stomach, whether you've been to the toilet. There are so many influential factors that are going to determine what your scale weight is that day. And if you're going away, or it's Christmas time, or you're worried that you've gained a bit of weight, or you feel a bit fluffy, your body might have changed. That's temporary. That's not permanent. You can change it back. Remember, you have control over your life, and it doesn't have to be immediate. Just because you're feeling a bit insecure right now doesn't mean that's how you're going to feel for the rest of your life. And I've definitely learned that the hard way. I know my body's going to look so different this time next year, but I'm comfortable with it now, and I'll be comfortable with it then. There are going to be so many factors within your life that mean that maybe you don't go to the gym as often, maybe you're not eating as well, maybe the cost of living is really affecting you, and you can't just eat whole foods all the time, and you have to eat UPF foods. That is okay. We can't just say to people, you can't eat anything ultra processed, you can't eat anything out of packets, or anything you don't understand. That's unrealistic and doesn't take into so many other factors of people's lives. And that's what really irritates me by these influencers who say like, oh, well, you need to be eating whole food, you can't be eating pot noodle, you can't be eating chocolate or sweets. I'm a broke student. I might have to have a pot noodle once in a while. That is okay. That's better than not eating anything at all. And as a dietitian, that's what we're trained to do. Remember, dietitians are responsible for people's health when they are critically ill. If you want to follow anyone about nutrition, follow a dietitian, because they know what they're talking about. They spent 4 years studying it, and they've seen the worst cases. That's just a very passionate subject for me. I actually recently attended a webinar with Nicola Landon Rain, I think is how you say her name. She is a BDA dietitian. She's still practicing now, but she ran a webinar for dietitians and dietetic students about UPFs and how to handle this and what to tell patients, because we're not just going to cut them out of our lives. But to close off, I wanted to say you can change your body endlessly. You can change everything about it, but unless you love yourself, unless you trust yourself, despite what your body looks like, it will not change anything for you. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, because obviously if we feel better in our bodies, we're going to feel better in ourselves. But the way you feel about your body is going to change literally hour to hour. Like this morning before my run, I felt badass. I then had a piece of toast and now I feel bloated and fluffy. It's literally anything you do is going to change how you feel within your body. So do not put all your worth onto that. Maybe you're going away, maybe you're comparing yourself to your friends. That's normal. They're comparing themselves to, trust me. I know, because people tell me this. And you can appreciate and love your body while working on it, while tweaking it, while getting it to change. There is no shame or guilt in wanting to change that either. Everyone wants to feel confident themselves. It has to come from a place of love and appreciation for your body rather than self-hate. Thank you so much for trusting me with this conversation. I know it was a bit of a mix of science but also personal experience to also mental health. I really hope you learned something, you took something away. You take your vitamin D. I know it's a bit of a splurge, but they're massive packets and they're going to last you literally the whole of winter. If you start now, your own health is going to thank you in 10 years time. But otherwise, we have a new episode here every single Monday. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and leave me a review or a comment for what you want to see next, because I literally love speaking to you guys so much. There's also a new video on Friday, except for the Christmas week, which will be next week. It's coming out on the Sunday because we're vlogging Christmas, so I'll edit it on the Boxing Day because everything's shut, and then it'll be up on the Sunday. But otherwise, wishing you a blessed week, and I'll see you all very soon.